All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Athenian Stranger tutorial video, where today we will be doing the test review solutions for 2/9/2021. Number 1, refer to the point slope form y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 to deduce the point and slope used in y plus 3 equals 2/5 x plus 6. What I'm asking you to do here is look at this form right here, especially where it says minus y1 and minus x1, and to think backwards. What points did they use if the actual equation is y plus 3? Well, the points they would have to have used right here, the y point would have had to have been -3, because it would have been y minus -3, and that would give you y plus 3. So we know that the y value is -3. Okay. Now the x value is much more straightforward. It's the same thing. You have x plus 6, but it's x minus x1. So you have to think, what had to happen for this to be x plus 6? So what you would have had to do is it would have had to been like x minus -6. So the original x coordinate would have been -6. So these are the two original coordinate points that had to be used to construct this equation. This is x1, this is y1. Okay. Now the slope is just given to you. The slope is right here. Remember, the m is the slope, so the slope is just 2/5. Okay. Number 2. What are the coordinates of the y-intercept given? And then you're given a line equation in point slope form. All you really have to do is distribute the 6, and then you'll have 6x plus 6, y minus 9, and then you just have to add 9 to both sides. Okay, so your final answer will be y equals 6x, and then 6 plus 9 is 15, so plus 15. So this is the y-intercept, since this is now written in the form y equals mx plus b. And so if b is 15, the y-intercept is 15. The y-intercept is located at 0, 15. Number 3. What is the x-intercept of, and then you're given an equation in slope-intercept form, and then I've given you a hint. Substitute 0 for y and solve for x. So let's do that. We'll write 0 equals -2x plus 10. So again, we're solving for x, and I'll just solve for x on the right side. I'll subtract 10 here. Now I've got -10 equals -2x. Well, now I just need to divide both sides by -2, and I have x equals -10 divided by -2 is +5. So the x-intercept is 5. It would be located at 5, 0. Number 4. What is the range of the quadratic function graphed? Remember, range is y, so we're looking at y values. Let me put a box, or a line anyway. Use a ruler here. So the lowest y value is down here. This is the bottom barrier. The graph does not drop below this point, and so the lowest y value, you could say like minimum y value, is -3. Now the maximum y value is infinity, because both of these arrows point up to infinity. So max y is infinity. So we would say the range is -3 less than or equal to y less than or equal to infinity. Okay. Number 5. What is the domain of x equals 2? Remember, this graph is a very strange graph. Looks like this. The graph of this is as follows. Let me just show you. So we have like 1, 2 on the x-axis. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. Here is 2. And x equals 2 is just a perfectly vertical line. Okay, so the graph looks like this. All right, now you got to ask yourself the question, what x values can this graph take on? Well, it can only take on, at all points, it can only take on the point 2. Okay, so the only x value this can take on is 2. So the whole domain is just 2. Okay, so what you've got is the domain is 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. Okay, that's number 5. Moving on, number 6, simplify the square root of 100. It's not clear to students that aren't comfortable with these questions just what we're asking you to do here, so I'll just show you. You want to take 100 and prime factor it. So that would be like 2 times 50, which is 2 times 25, which is 5 times 5. Okay? Now we're going to rewrite the square root as the square root of 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Okay, so anytime you have a pair inside the square root, you can pull them out as a single number. So like, here's a pair of 2s, here's a pair of 5s, okay? You can pull out a single 2 from here, and you can pull out a single 5 from here. And these numbers will be multiplied on the outside. When you pull them out, you kind of cancel them on the inside. And so the final thing is just 5 times 2. So the simplified root is just 10. You get rid of the square root entirely. Okay? So that would be the answer to that problem. I mean, obviously, if you knew your square roots, you would know that 100 was the perfect square of 10. But if you didn't know that, then you would prime factor and simplify it like I just showed you. Number 7, write 1,200,000 using scientific notation. What you do here, and I know many of you will remember this, is you put a period over here, or a decimal point. Then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So you count it over 6 places. So what you're going to write is you're going to write 1.2 times 10 to the 6th power. Okay. So we're gonna put a box around this. We're gonna put a box around this right here. And number 8, we have graph, and then they give you a point slope form equation. So first you have to, well, you could do this 2 ways. You could either extract the original points and the slope and plot it, and then use the rise over run to plot points, or you could just go ahead and convert this to a slope-intercept form equation of the line, and then you could plot it that way. So that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and convert. So we're going to distribute, and then we are going to, we'll distribute the 2 right here. So we'll just move this over a little bit. We'll have y plus 3 equals 2x plus 8. Okay, so what we're going to have to do now is subtract 3 from both sides. Just subtract 3 here, subtract 3 here. and we have y equals 2x plus 5. So that's the thing you have to graph. The slope m is 2 and the y-intercept b is 5. Okay, so you want to start by plotting the y-intercept at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go. And now you're going to go up 2 over 1, all right, to plot the slope. Up 2 over 1. So we've kind of run out of room here, so a little trick is to go back to the y-intercept and go down 2 and to the left 1. So you can get yourself a second point there. Now you need to take a straight edge and draw a line passing through all those points. Just try to get it perfect. Oops. Here we go. There's your line, okay? So the important things are, what I'm going to be looking for to grade this is, did your line pass through this point right here? Okay, because that's going to be the key. If you graphed it correctly, this is -3. Okay, so this is 5. That's -3, 0. This is 0, 5. So that's the line. This is actually the x-intercept. This is the y-intercept. And the slope is 2. Okay? All right, number 9. Factor 17x minus 34. So here, what you've got to do is you have to factor out using the greatest common factor. Well, the greatest common factor of 17 and 34 is 17. So what you want to do is put parentheses around this expression and divide both terms by the GCF of 17. So what the final product looks like is 17 open parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses. That's it. That's all you had to do there. Number 10 is a quadratic expression. You need to factor it. So we have to remind ourselves, what was that process? First, you want to compute the master product, which we need to label our points. So this is a 1 in front of this x, and this is an 11, and this is an 18. The 1 is the a, the 11 is the b, and the 18 is the c. The master product is a times c, which is 1 times 18, so that's just 18. Now, what you want is you want to find two numbers, okay, that add to equal b, which is 11, and those same two numbers have to multiply to equal the master product, which is 18. So what are those two numbers? Well, think about it for a minute. If you take 18 and you factor it, you probably come up with 9 and 2. 9 plus 2 is 11. 9 times 2 is 18. So if I was going to factor this, here's what I would do. I would write open parentheses, close parentheses, open parentheses, close parentheses, and I'd write x plus 9 times x plus 2. And if you FOILed that out, first, outer, inner, last, you would indeed get the original quadratic. You'd get x squared plus 2x plus 9x plus 18. And then these two would combine in the middle to give you 11x. So you'd have the original. This is a way of checking your work. Okay? But the actual boxed answer is this factored expression right here. This is called the factored form. Okay? Number 11. Write the equation of a line passing through point 2, 7 with a slope m of 5. So notice that you're given a point, okay, and you're given a slope. So you should be using the point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m, open parentheses, x minus x1, close parentheses. You're just going to substitute in these values. So it helps to label them x1, y1, and m, so you know what you're going to plug in. So it's y minus y1, which is 7, equals m, which is 5, open parentheses, x minus 2, which is x1. Now you're just going to distribute the 5, and you'll have y minus 7 equals 5x minus 10, and then you'll just add 7 to both sides, which will give you y equals 5x minus 3. Okay, so that's the equation. That's the answer. Okay, and this final question is true or false. The domain of all discrete linear functions is negative infinity, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to positive infinity. This is straight up false. I mean, the nature of a discrete function is that its domain is limited, so it cannot be all real numbers. So it's just false. All right, that concludes the video.